Got Alex with me. I wanted to talk to you about this last week's episode. There's a lot of, the title, most of the episode was about sales are slowing down, numbers are not, where they're supposed to be. What are you seeing? What are you experiencing? Are sales actually slowing down, or did we just use that as clickbait?
No, so there's definitely like a huge slowdown in the market. Personally, for me, I've seen a lot of clients are sort of waiting it out. People want to see where the market's going to go, right? They want to see how it's going to perform in the next 2 to 3 months, because right now we're sort of at this point where the markets came down already, prices have sort of stabilized, and a lot of people, they want to get in right now. They see the pricing, it's very attractive. However, they're still sort of scared, right? They think that there's more to come, especially with everything that's going on in the world. Obviously, it's one of those things that people are just sort of playing it slow right now. They're slow rolling it per se.
What do you think? Okay, let's assume there is more to come. How much?
That's the thing I always say is that, like, how much can this really go? How far can a 15,500 Blue Dial really go down, or a Daytona?
Yep.
That's where it actually gets a little difficult, because retail for Daytonas is still 13,000, right? So the watch trades at 30K. So people in their minds are thinking like, okay, maybe it'll go down to 20K, maybe it'll go down to 18, 19K. And it's like, you sort of have to be realistic with some of these watches, some of the models, and figure out, okay, what's actually going to go down, what's not as desirable, right? Because Daytonas are always going to be desirable. There has to be a line that's drawn, and I don't think people are ready to draw that line. I think people still have a faith that things will come down a little bit more.
You rely on history, the Pandas have never really sold at retail.
Exactly.
Secondary market,
right?
That is. And yes,
even at the lowest in the market, they were still trading over.
Yeah. And people are getting calls from their ADs. Nobody's getting calls for a Panda unless you're a lifelong customer.
Exactly. That's something I was thinking about, is like, what makes people think that Rolex ADs are just going to start giving away watches, right? I feel like Rolex actually likes what's going on right now. They like what's happened in the past 3 years. So they're trying to keep that exclusivity going. They're not just going to flood the market now that things have slowed down for us, right? Our market, in a way, doesn't really affect their sales, because they're always going to be selling stuff, right? So yeah, that line of thinking sort of has been causing a serious slowdown in the market, which I've seen, and obviously the whole crew has seen, but also people across the industry have seen. Wholesale chats are basically dead right now. Nobody's marking sold, nobody's buying anything, right? It's just sell. So,
but the numbers that we kind of do, we're not that far off. Sure, obviously we're way far off from the highest of times.
Yeah.
But again, historically, our numbers, year after year, we're doing, better and better. And this year, we're not projecting it to be, way below last year.
Right.
It might be a slight dip, but also at the same time, margins go up a little bit because we sell a lot of pieces that are not your typical.
Yeah. No, for sure. But you also have to think about, one thing you have to think about is, our growth this year has been obviously, I don't know the exact numbers, but at least 10x what it was last year in terms of being seen by people, right? So being that we're on track to do almost the same, maybe a little bit less, but we have even more growth, that's where it'll show in the slowdown is okay, we did so much this year in terms of marketing and outreach and getting exposure, but our numbers are still around the same. So maybe in a normal market, our numbers would be 2x.
Well, you talk to all the dealers. Do you see dealers that don't have our sorts of exposure struggling?
Of course, yeah. Listen, these guys, obviously not putting any names to it, but a lot of them live a pretty lavish lifestyle, and they've since had to draw back. And there's a lot of people that I was talking to in the height of the market that were real ballers, and I don't hear from them anymore. So, I wish them all the best. But yeah, listen, it's slowed down a significant amount. We'll see where it goes, but for now, it's sort of.
What do you think the next, this final quarter of the year are going to do? I think, obviously with the holidays coming up, what any predictions? Obviously, you can't speak for the market, but for yourself personally.
Nah, it's tough because this is my livelihood. I sell watches, and I kind of have to separate my own opinions. But if I was a buying customer, I would be buying up watches left and right now because the prices are so good. Obviously, keeping in mind that maybe there will be, a little bit more of a drop. But if anything, that would motivate me more to buy a few now, buy a few later, and then hold on to it for the next